Hey everybody, in this video we will be rigging the studio for a top-down shot. We're going to bring in a table, some stands, lights and camera and all of that, and I'm going to share my tips and tricks in a setup like this. Let's go! So now I got my table here in the studio, and now I'm going to rig my camera support above the table here, and I'm going to use the Manfrotto 420B stands. And these are great because they have this incorporated boom pole that I can use across the table here, and then on that boom pole I can mount my camera pointing straight down here on the table. And I'm going to show you how this boom arm works. You just pull this one up, and then you have a little knob here that you just push down, and then you can tilt this entire knuckle like this, and then we just clamp this one down like so. I think these stands are a little bit more useful than a C stand with a boom arm, because those are really short, those boom arm that we usually use on a C stand, but this boom pole here can extend quite a lot. It will have no problem going across the table here. The only drawback with this stand is that this section here, it doesn't go as far up as I would like to. If you can see here, that's the maximum height that you can get your knuckle up, and that is probably 2 meters from the floor. You have that one tightened down. Let's tighten everything down. One tip here, if you're going to do a similar rig, is to make sure that your stand is not touching the table. Because if we have the stand up close to the table like this, and when you operate on the table, when you do stuff on the table, you will create vibrations that will travel into the stand and into the camera. So now we are going to connect these two stands through this boom pole over to the other side, into that stand over there. All right, so far so good. Now it's time to mount our camera with arms clamping onto this boom pole. I also forgot a crucial point here, and that is I want to move that black screen to the background to block off all of that green spill that could possibly spill over to the table here and whatever happening in front of the camera. Try not to tear everything down here. Careful. Come on. This is something I should have done in the beginning. All right. Sweet. I didn't tear anything down. Let's just adjust these here. So now we got our black screen there on the background, so we can get rid of a little bit of that green spill. Okay, so here I have the camera all ready to be mounted on the boom pole. I just had these simple arms connected to my cage here, and then small clamps on the other side that will clamp onto the boom pole. We are using the Sony a7S III here, and I took my Sony a7S III just because this camera always has a cage on it, but my CV-E1, I want that cage free with no extra bulk. Let's tighten that up. So now I'm going to adjust the camera in conjunction with my monitor just to see that we're getting a nice flat perspective down here onto the table. I had a little problem with one of these clamps. It looks like this is glued onto the screw here. So what happened was that when I tried to release this lever, the glue just gave up. So I couldn't get this clamp off my pole here. So I had to go and grab me some, what do you call this? So I had to go and get some tools to get that clamp off. But all is well, we're on time here. Let me show you that wireless transmitter. It's actually this red cable here. It's going into my V-mount battery for power, ordinary old school USB, And then the other side goes into the HDMI connector on the camera. And then that cable sends to another cable like this, goes into the power on my V-mount battery, USB style, and then into the HDMI port. So I love this little setup because it's so small and convenient. It doesn't add any bulk to the camera or the monitor. There are some times when the picture just drops for like 2 seconds or so, but I think that's a reasonable compromise. It's very cheap, cost about 100 euros. Okay, so that's our setup. So what are we going to do here is to film objects from our local museum, and they're going to put old objects here on this table and present it to the camera. And that will be incorporated into my motion graphics animation that I'm doing in this project. I really love these new V-mount batteries. Right here I can see how many minutes I got left in this battery with this current draw from the monitor. If I bring the brightness up on the monitor here, let's crank this up to max. You can see that this will go down because the monitor is now, 253 minutes. So that's pretty cool to see how much you can get out of these V-mount batteries. And then we got our other V-mount battery here. And that one, what we got, I think it says 583 minutes with the camera charging and my wireless transmitter. So we're good for the entire day, I believe. I'm using the Amaran 200X and I'm just bouncing it into the ceiling, creating this soft light, very shadowless, just because it's above the camera. So we're getting this shadowless effect here on the table. As you can see, we're getting basically just occlusion, if you know what that is. There's a little spill here from these two big panels, big soft boxes. I'm going to turn them off so we just get this soft, beautiful light from above here. Okay everybody, we are done now filming and I'm going to show you a couple of clips so you can see the results from using this kind of setup here. And if you got any questions, let me know in the comment section, and if you found this useful, give me a like, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!